Welcome back, Genergy fans. You guys hear me talking all the time about proper airflow, the right size plenums, the right size ductwork, and specifically I talk about proper install techniques and the skill that it takes to put these things in. Well, once again, I'm following up behind a inept, I wouldn't even call him a contractor. It's possibly even like maybe a handyman, but probably one of the worst installs that I've seen in a while. And I've been hired to fix her up. First thing that I noticed is that's the supply plenum. Okay, that's a no-no. That's not only a severe restriction in airflow, but it's a fire hazard. Watch. Okay, let's see if we can see it. So, all right, first fire hazard right here needs to be fixed. 220 volt line. And you open it up, and oh, wait a minute. These poor people didn't even have any heat strips. Huh. Okay, well, guess what? It's not a fire hazard if there's no heat strips. It's a heat pump unit, has no backup, has plenty of wire going to it, has a 60 amp breaker, and only needs about a 15. Another fire hazard, right? Yes, see, proper install techniques. So, my job today is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna upgrade it. It's a 12-inch. This is a 3-ton. I'm upgrading it to a 16. That's not gonna be fun, because it's not a very big attic. I've gotta make this area a little bit bigger. Oh, and return plenum, same way. You can't see it back there, but yeah, there's no plenum on there. Real quick, let me tell you why it's so important to get your airflow right. And specifically what I'm talking about is your plenums. Your plenums are basically your distribution boxes. They build up a certain amount of what's called static pressure inside of them. The static pressure is kind of almost like a mechanical feedback on your blower. Long story short, best way for me to describe it is if I took this blower out and I put it on the ground and I hooked it up, it would look like it's traveling in slow motion. As soon as I take something and then block, even something as thin as this, anything that creates a certain amount of back pressure, it speeds up. The more back pressure, the faster it goes. So that's a double-edged sword. If you have too much back pressure, if you get too much static pressure, it causes the blower to continually run faster because it's wanting to push the CFM it was designed for, specifically with the kind of motors that are in units nowadays. They're all variable speed, they're all very delicate, and they're programmed for a certain RPM or CFM range, and if it doesn't get it, it continues to push and push and push. It's the reason why these motors are going out on these brand new units after a year, 2-3 years of service, mainly because it's duct related. Duct work sucks. I'm gonna be honest. I hate it. I hate doing it. I love designing it, and I love it when other people do it right. But if I come out to your place and I say that you need ducts, trust me, I don't want to do your ducts. But I will do a good job at them because I know how they're supposed to be and I know how they're supposed to be designed. So that's what I'm doing here today. One other major problem of not getting your duct sizes right is, let's see if you can see it. See all that? See the rust in the drain? Right there. Yeah. That shouldn't happen. That's rusted. After 2 years of installing, why would it be rusted? Why? Because it drains constantly, not where it's supposed to be. It's not going out the drain line itself. You've got a unit that is starving for air, and it's pulling air out of every orifice it possibly can, including the drain line. It'll pull air straight through the drain line. It won't allow it to drain. The pan internally will back up and spill all over your attic, floor, hardwood floors, neighbors' floors, whatever. It's bad. Water is like fire to me. I don't have to deal with fire burning people's houses down because I'm safe and I know what the hell I'm doing. But water, that's why I have liability insurance. It's the only claims I've ever had in my life is from water damage. So I'm very, very, very careful about how these things drain. So I'm gonna fix this up, move this stuff around a little bit, and hopefully I can make it back out of this attic in one piece. Oh, and while I'm up here, I wanted to show you guys another little pet peeve of mine. Actually, it's a pretty big pet peeve. Can you see this bundle of wires right here? Right here. All right. Look at this. Look at this mess. This mess of wires. There's a splice. There's a splice farther. Look at that. Am I being like overly critical? But is that ugly? You guys pay us a lot of money to do our jobs, right? Come on, guys. I'm talking to all you installers out there. At least make it look pretty. If you don't know how to make them work right, at least install it like you were going to install it in your parents' house or your loved one's house. Or, I don't know. Use something. Something's got to get you guys installing a little bit better. Anyway, I'm going to fix all this up. I'm going to put everything where it belongs inside. Look how nice and neat it is. There's nothing inside there. The wires will be when I'm done. So that's phase 3 of this project. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys just a real quick lesson on CFM. See these two guys down here? This one, the little one there, that's the original. That's a 12-inch. This big one here, that's a 16-inch. This is a 3-ton unit. 3-ton units generally put out between 1100 and 1300 CFM of air. That 16-inch collar will flow 13 or 1400 CFM at the collar itself, about 1300 I think. When ductwork is hooked up to it and stretched as far as we need to go here, which is about 25-30 feet, you're only pulling about 1000 CFM if you're lucky by the time it gets all the way to that return. And then you got a filter, so that restricts even more airflow. So now you're down to about 750. So when I talk about air restriction, not getting enough air, running a marathon with a straw in your mouth, you're gonna run out of gas, right? Well, same with this system. It's gonna run out of gas eventually, and if you don't get your airflow right, and I preach this constantly, you're gonna have blown up compressors, because what happens is the oil in the compressor starts a condition called foaming. Blows up the valves, messes everything up, gets all kinds of contaminants into the system and the metering. You just get everything right the first time. And I am not even gonna be able to get the maximum amount of airflow out of this thing that it actually needs, but I'm gonna get really close. I'm gonna do some tests. I might even lower the fan speed slightly. But when I'm done with this thing, it's gonna be night and day. I'm just glad I took readings before and now after. So, you know what? I keep procrastinating. I keep coming inside saying, ooh, I got a better idea for a video. I got another explanation. I got another this and that. But you know what the truth of the matter is? I haven't gone up in the attic yet because I don't want to. Jimmy's not here to help me out. I'm all alone. So anyway, enough procrastinating. Let me actually get to some work. Okay, I am officially naming this job Trainwreck. That is going to be the title. Why do you ask? Because this is one of the worst train wreck installations I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so what they actually did, they took the air handler that was conveniently located here, mark it by my flashlight, and they turned that into the supply plenum by capping it down there. Yeah, and then they ran a 12-inch from there all the way down there, probably about 32 feet or so. So basically, oh, and look at this lovely return box. Yeah, stapled to the beams. That's awesome. So I gotta put a 16 in this thing. It ain't gonna make that bend. I've gotta actually build a new box for here. I've already built a new mixing box right there. That's gonna feed the back end of the house. Oh, and I literally redirected every single duct in this attic. Every one of them. It looked like a tornado twisted up a bunch of big silver trees and just threw them into this. I mean, I had to cut the plenum to get this thing out of there. And it was crooked. Oh yeah, and look. Hey, how you doing? You can see right down inside there. So I've got lots and lots of work to do. Okay, what's up guys? We are 7 hours into the job and I am running out of room. I've literally painted myself in a corner. I took all the ducts, redirected them, put new plenum boxes in, upgraded all the flexes. Yeah, so that's the first mixing box. And you can see how far down my duct runs go, kind of, sort of, not really. And here's a 16 in front of me, and this, and sorry, but you guys can't see anything. I still got to throw some mastic on this guy over here. That's a new box as well. So 1, 2, 3, and 2 new plenums. Let me get out of here, it's getting kind of cramped. All right, guys, we are done with another project. It took 7 hours, 7.5 hours, but yeah, look how tight this, oh look, hey, hi Mr. Bunny. I left him up there for the next technician to get scared. But it's actually got plenums on it now. Check it out, check it out. And running that way, all right, sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm finally done, out of here. I gotta test it on heat just to make sure that it's going to heat, even though we're probably not gonna need to heat anything. That's all. That's your lesson on airflow and proper duct sizing for the day. Hopefully you guys learned a little something. I know I did. I knew how to bid jobs a little bit better. Man. Anyways, talk to you guys later. See ya.